Hello, everyone. Welcome to Absolve's webinar, Propose2 Project. Thank you for joining us. My name is Natalia. I'm a digital presence coordinator at Absolve, and I'll be hosting this presentation today. Absolve is a certified Salesforce implementation and consulting partner that helps companies implement, customize, and integrate Salesforce. Today, you'll learn about Propose2 Project, a proprietary product and implementation package that Absolve has developed over hundreds of Salesforce deployments with service and professional service companies. The system is also what Absolve uses ourselves on a day-to-day basis to run our organization. Propose2 Project enables your service and professional service firm to run your entire business on one single platform, from marketing, sales, dynamic complex proposals, project management, financials, HR benefits, and payroll. Next slide. Next slide. So before starting the webinar, I would like to give you an introduction of our featured presenter. David Brayberg is the CEO and founder of Absolve. Absolve is backed by David's 18 years of sales experience, 15 years of technology experience and leadership roles in more than 1,000 software delivery projects. David is also a certified Salesforce Sales Cloud consultant. And as the lead of Absolve, his purpose is to power extraordinary results with the businesses and people David and Absolve work with. Now let's get ready for the webinar. Welcome, David. I'll now hand it over to you.
Thanks, Natalia. Thanks, everyone, for joining. So I wanted to go through today, talk a little bit about who we are, our focus in the market, what Propose2 Project is, and then we'll get into the demo. So taking this forward, so as Natalia mentioned, we are a Salesforce certified implementation and consulting company. And so what that means is we do work closely with Salesforce itself to understand the vision of what's being painted for businesses out there who are looking to use Salesforce to scale their business. And our job as an implementation and consulting partner is to come in and actually make that vision a reality. So we run projects with businesses to implement Salesforce and work on mainly a project basis. So we're Toronto based, and we've worked really all across North America over the 7 years that we have been in the market. And so we have a focus around industries. We work primarily with service and professional service companies, which directly ties in with our demonstration today, and as well as energy, utilities, and automotive companies, as well as telecommunications. Over the time, we've done a lot of work with a lot of different industries, but these really are our focus these days. And so a little bit more about that. So Propose2 Project, we'll obviously be talking a lot about that today. That is meant for service companies and professional service companies. So when we talk about service companies, we're really looking at any company that is selling hours, essentially, at the end of the day. We're talking about companies that are putting together fairly complex proposals that have a number of deliverables, a level of effort. At the end of the day, it's intellectual property. It's selling hours that go into a project. So this is our focus, and obviously that can touch on a lot of different areas, anywhere from marketing, consulting companies, obviously professional services companies like us. Could even get into more of the service and field service type of businesses, obviously, is that next bullet point there. But really any company that is providing a service as what they provide in the marketplace. And so our next area of focus, which we did a webinar on 2 weeks ago that you can find on our website, is about field service. And so that's Salesforce's module that is specifically meant for businesses who have people out in the field. So that would be anywhere from say an HVAC company, a telecommunications company, any service that could be provided by a person in a vehicle, for example, anything that you can think of residentially from a business perspective. So we actually implemented the very first field service system in all of SMB North America back in 2016. And today we are the leader in the platform with respect to number of implementations from a Canadian-based company. So it's been a real area of focus for us. And finally, the custom heat map. So that is meant for energy utilities, telecommunications companies, and that's specifically allowing an organization who has a distribution network, so like an energy company, like a telecommunications company, where they have a set limit to their distribution network. This allows the ability to view that network inside of your CRM, sell strategically around that, but also allow the ability to strategically expand the platform over time. And for those that may not be as familiar with Salesforce, I imagine that most of the people joining us today are, but just a quick bit of information about Salesforce. So, Salesforce.com, really the leader in CRM, customer relationship management. They really are at the top section of the quadrants with respect to all major firms like Gartner, et cetera. And so, it is a cloud-based application. And again, most people I'm sure are pretty familiar with Salesforce, but at the end of the day, it is a cloud-based business software platform that in 1999 started and was the only cloud-based business software platform at that time. Today it seems normal, but 22 years ago, this was groundbreaking, and they were the only ones to do it. And so their big push at that time was to really eliminate the need for businesses to have to buy, very difficult to afford huge software stacks, all that version control. So they went cloud-based, and today, at that time in '99, they started as really just a sales Rolodex, really. And then in time moved into customer service, then marketing, then e-commerce, and really today can handle the entire business from any department really on the platform. So anywhere engagement with recent acquisitions of Slack and operations, which we'll be showing you a lot today, has really become a full business platform. And as we talked about at the start, for businesses who are evaluating Salesforce as a way to scale their business, to run their business, we work with those businesses to actually create the vision of what's been painted for them by Salesforce, by their planning and requirements that get put together. Okay, so Propose2Project, so our topic for today. So this is a proprietary system that we built really as specifically our experience in the market, our experience just running our own business, and for 7 years really taken our learnings as a business, as a professional services business, but also all our experience implementing Salesforce for businesses, and certainly those that are in the service and professional services space. We early on had a chance to work with a number of service firms, and through our experience with field service, as I mentioned, there was always a large overlap with our ability to work with service companies. So it really is a labor of love based on our experience, wanting to improve every day, and also seeing the most successful ways that we're able to make other businesses successful in their industries. And so it really does allow the ability to run a service business from end to end. So talking about the fact that we would look at starting right at the top of the funnel, so looking at marketing, then taking it through to sales, building fairly complex proposals through the sales process, then running your projects, your full financials, so looking at being able to invoice, look at AR, AP, and then full benefits, payroll, and HR. So really the entire solution for a service business. Now we'll talk about this in a bit more detail in a few slides. So from a functionality standpoint, the business starts right at the top of the funnel. So we look at using a tool for marketing automation obviously being a Salesforce implementation company, we look at the Salesforce products that are available there. So marketing automation allows you as a service or professional service business to find leads essentially at the end of the day. The very top of the funnel, engage with people out in the world through whether it's social media, through even that very top of the funnel where you don't have their information yet. Engage with those people out there, move them down the funnel, start to get their information as leads, and then start to sell to them. So as we move from left to right, we work down the sales funnel. So going through from identifying those individuals out there who could be your customers, through to running your sales teams, running your sales process, through that building proposals and electronic signatures. So again, the system really is meant for a company who is building a fairly complex proposal, 10 to 20 pages type of thing. Not just, this is a fit for that type of proposal, not as much, simple one-liner, one-liner quotes type of thing. And then through that proposal, we actually have the ability to build it right in Salesforce. So this is the fully customized section that we've built and that we build for customers. That goes out, gets electronically signed, and then this incredible amount of downstream automation that takes place from there. So what happens when a opportunity is won? Well, for a service business, then we need to create a project. So that gets automatically created, where you start to now be able to align resources, get ready for the project, and you're going to want to send an invoice. So invoice gets automatically created. And at this point, with projects and invoicing, that we move into the operations and finance. So obviously we've gotten to the bottom of the funnel, we've won the business, now we're into the operations and financials piece. And over time, there was, and getting into, again, full accounting, general ledger, running all your accounts receivable, accounts payable, and then making any kind of vendor payments. And so over time, realize that there's still a gap here. And so, we can invoice our customers, we can pay our vendors, but we still have this need, obviously, to take care of our staff, to obviously, run payroll, have visibility into that. So now we've been able to integrate the payroll functionality, as well as HR, and as well as benefits also. So this has come from an integration that we'll look at the next slide. So we've really been able to close the gap now. So now we can actually look to take care of your staff from a perspective of obviously the payment side, right through to benefits plans, and then human resources. And we have that here as the employee experience. So another look now from the product perspective. So, any project that we work on, there will be some interaction with the Salesforce product. And so this top of the funnel view here is that this system will start either with Marketing Cloud or Pardot. So those are marketing automation products from Salesforce. And so that's that top of the funnel where we're trying to engage with as many potential individuals who could be customer of ours as possible, and to move down the funnel, start to identify them, and start to sell to them, as we talked about. And so these two platforms, Marketing Cloud historically has been meant more for a B2C business, whereas Pardot a bit more of a B2B, but that isn't a golden rule. We ourselves actually use Marketing Cloud, which you'll see in a few minutes, and we are a B2B business. We sell to businesses. So we look at integrating one of those two products for the marketing aspect. And then the next is Sales Cloud. So this is the standard Salesforce core CRM product. This is where the foundation of the system will be built, everything where you're running your standard CRM functionality, running your sales for your organization. And that's where we've built the custom proposal functionality that we talked about. And so we'll see more of that today. And that's when, as we move farther down the funnel, now we've won the business, and now this is where Accounting Seed kicks in. So Accounting Seed is a third-party accounting platform that is built within Salesforce's force.com programming language. So the huge value here, and this is very much from our experience ourselves as a business and also implementing for our customers, is that you have financials right inside Salesforce. So for those fairly familiar with Salesforce, you have your leads, accounts, opportunities. Right next to it, you have your AR, your AP, your payroll. So we don't need to look at an integration. We don't need to look at other systems. We can now have operations right in the platform. And so that's where Accounting takes care of the project side, the financials, so general ledger, as I mentioned, AP, AR, and then works through where Humi, so a Toronto-based HR provider, that's where we integrate information around the HR benefits and payroll that we talked about. So we'll carry on with the demo here, or we'll start with the demo, I should say. Just getting my screen switched over here. Okay, so what we're looking at here is Marketing Cloud. So this is the home interface here. And so at the top here, we have the major modules within Marketing Cloud. So Marketing Cloud is quite a bit more complex than Pardot. So we do have a ton of different modules here. And really the big benefit of Marketing Cloud over, say, a Pardot is really the ability to be able to have engagement across multiple engagement platforms. So everything from email, fairly standard email journeys, mass email. There's actually a functionality where you can engage from an SMS perspective, so that really comes into the B2C businesses. So Social Studio is actually an integration with social media, for example, so you can go to full-on social listening. Advertising Studio, getting into really being able to manage that part of marketing. Integration with the website, because we want to be able to see what people are doing on the website, how they're engaging with your brand. Whole ton of analytics. So Journey Builder, that's the automated journeys where they specifically adapt to someone's interaction with your email. So we're looking to build content, build our emails, build our content, and a ton of other opportunities. So really where Marketing Cloud is really key is this multi-channel engagement. So just look at a couple of these. If we're to look at email, and so, again, we're using this tool to engage with individuals out there who we don't know yet could be customers. But if I go to our list of email that has been sent out, I get a quick view of some of the ones that we've recently sent out. And so looking at webinars we've sent out, we can see that the delivery percentage. So some great information that you can see right off the bat. And so if we click into one of these, we can then see some pretty great information around the actual engagement with that email. And so what we do ourselves actually is we align this with scoring that would come from engagement on these engagements that we sent out. And so if I were to look at this, I could check out, the unique opens, for example, see a list of these, and where that really becomes impactful, we can actually have a look at that scoring. And once these leads hit a certain score, that's when they would actually get moved into our Salesforce CRM, which is the next phase in the funnel process, as we talked about. And so that's really email blast or mass email sending. Next really key piece is looking at building the content. So just a quick look at both platforms, Pardot and Marketing Cloud, allow you the ability to create great looking emails and content to be sent out. And it's just a quick view of a few of these. So as you'd expect, a lot of templates that you can create and adjust as time goes, but here's one our team has been working on. So looking at this webinar registration for this very webinar. So this is really where you create these great looking engagement materials. And so that is in the content builder piece. And so coming over to the journey builder. And this is where a lot of the marketing automation platforms really differentiate themselves from, sort of smaller marketing tools, is that you can actually create these rules and these full engagement journeys that are automated based on what the actual prospect does within the content that you're sending to them. So it's going to look at this one here, leading contact scoring 2021. And so you can see this is where, a lot of email and marketing automation platforms today, we create these full process maps really of what's going to take place when that content is sent out. So we have information sent out to a prospect. That's where email is clicked versus email opened. So it can go one way or another. There's an update to lead activity within the system. Waiting time. It can exit on minute 1. Obviously, the other way to go is if that became, a lead versus not. And now as we go down to email opened in another thread. So the idea here really is that you're creating these automated journeys based on, an initial start, but then an entire tree of potential from there. So going on to our demo, so going back to that lead list, going to see if we have a lead that has been engaged enough that we've received their information, and that we can go ahead and see about actually qualifying them to see if they can actually be a potential customer for us. So now we're into Salesforce, and probably again a lot of individuals on the webinar today are fairly familiar, but this is Salesforce.com, the standard view. So we have here from the top down, we have a search bar. So this has been really a mainstay of the system, for the 22 years since it's been put together. So really anything you need to find in the system, you can use this search bar and really find any record you need to find in the system. And so coming down, we have here, so Absolve. So for the demo today, we will be acting as Absolve, so a professional service firm selling our services. And myself, I will be, although I have an alter ego in this system, but essentially as the president or CEO of the business. And so big point there is that I really want to have a full end-to-end view of the system, and we'll show you how that comes together today. And really when I say end-to-end, it's really across every department and all the departments that we talk about for Propose2 Project and that we've talked about so far. And as we move across, so home, this is our home page, and I'll get into some of the details here as we move down. Chatter is the engagement platform, like an internal engagement platform. Huge number of ways that can be used in the system, and actually with the main reason that Salesforce has been named Forbes' most innovative company in the world, I think 5 or 7 times straight, and that was what really kicked that off. A really amazing platform that allows businesses to cut down on internal email by as much as 50%. So really great platform there. So going into campaigns, that's really the key area where your marketing automation platform connects with your CRM. And so a campaign would be a marketing effort. So maybe an email journey like we looked at, could be a trade show. And so it essentially allows you to organize your marketing efforts And then leads, so pretty self-explanatory. And from a Salesforce sense, it really is an individual where you have their information, whether it's they filled a lead form on your website or someone that you met at a trade show. You have their information, but you're not quite sure yet if they will be a potential buyer of your services. And so contacts would be the individuals that work at the companies we're selling to, accounts being the companies that we're selling to, and opportunities, the way in which we're trying to sell our services. So forecast is a great way to look at the opportunity open pipeline. Proposals, this is the custom object that we build, and we built for ourselves, we build for our service and professional service customers, and really is, the beginning of the really key part of this system, obviously given the name Propose2Project. And then projects, so this allows the ability, again, another customized object, and this is where the accounting seed and operational platform kicks in, the ability to run projects, but not only that, but really manage project accounting and even gross margin. So, incredible value for a service business to be able to see how profitable jobs actually are. So that's where we're bringing it together, and we'll certainly show that throughout. So time cards, so that would be the way in which individuals actually log their time on projects or any activity within the system. So billing, so that is the name for invoices. So it's invoices that we're sending out to our customers, payables, essentially what we owe. So accounting home, we'll have a quick look at that. So that is the accounting seed home, and so that really is the window into the general ledger. So right into your financial statement, and then adjusting any settings you may want to do in the system. And reports and dashboards. So we'll look at these more fulsome look at this dashboard that you're seeing right now towards the end. But at the end of the day, we build the system so that you can run your entire business on it. And we want to see those insights at the end of the day. So how effective are we? At the end of the day, we obviously need that real-time insight. And so we look to build dashboards, as you see here. And then the dashboard is a graphical representation of a report, which is more of an Excel-looking type of subsection of information. And a few other pieces here, so I can set up some favorites if I wanted to look at some quick pieces of information within the system, quick creation of records here, any kind of help and support. This is a window into the back end here. So for anyone looking to make those changes to the system, that is the window into the back end here. Got some user settings and then and notifications on the system. So as I move down, you can see here we have this dashboard, which is a company dashboard for fiscal 21. So, get more into this towards the end. But as you can see, we do have multiple departments right on this dashboard. So we see that we have 30 leads that have come in this month. How much sales pipeline did we add last week? How much got quoted last week? How much we've sold this month, this quarter, and then a quick view of our pipeline. So what are we hoping to close this month, next month, and obviously right through to December. And as we move across, so we have today's tasks. So, and I'll probably say this again, but very important to recognize that everything is completely customizable in Salesforce. So this is, a version of what a homepage could be, fairly standard information, but it's important to understand that, this is all adjustable, it's all customizable. But what we have here would be today's task. So what I need to get done to organize myself today, items to approve. So for us, in our use case, it tends to be a lot of time cards. So we're looking to approve a time card based on time submitted by an individual. I even see a connection into my calendar. So what I have going on today with respect to my calendar, and then moving down into so Einstein. There's a lot of AI that's really comes built out in Salesforce today, as well as key deals. So any recent opportunities that have been opened and worked on. And I'll get more into the dashboards towards the end, but I want to go back to that that engagement with leads that we started off with Marketing Cloud. So I'm going to go over to look at campaigns. So, we set up our businesses in a way that from left to right at the top of Salesforce is top of the funnel down. So this system we set up for customers is very similar to that slide that I showed earlier, where top of the funnel on the left, and as we move more operationally, we move over to the right. So campaigns, at the end of the day, we want to understand whether our marketing efforts are actually working. So we have a couple listed here. We have an email campaign in May. We looked at a LinkedIn marketing campaign in June. We did a virtual trade show back in March, and an email campaign in July. And so the key area here is, well, what's the ROI? So we had a certain spend. We may have had a certain budgeted spend, but we want to know, well, did we actually win any opportunities from that? And these are showing that we did. And that's that ROI component. So this is an amazing way for businesses to knock down any barriers that exist between sales and marketing. It's incredibly easy to see whether, let's say we did that trade show last year. It's very easy to see how successful it was. Like, wow, we definitely need to do that one again. So it just ensures that your sales or marketing is going too far in any direction from each other, because it's just so easy to tie in how valuable they're working together, how valuable these marketing efforts are. It's amazing functionality for marketers, and for sales to see that visibility into what's working also. Looking at that email campaign in July and a bit more closely, so some more detail that we would see here would be some campaign members. Again, we see the actual cost, some other opportunities that were associated to it, and campaign members would be leads that came from that. And so going to go check out leads here. So again, now we're moving down the funnel. So now we have individuals that have been identified. And so look at open leads here. So these are, again, leads that have identified, that have come into our system. And so we want to see if they should be in our system. So I see here the most recent came from email marketing, from that campaign that we did early on. And so we have here CC Andrews from SJ Corporation as the Chief Operations Officer. So I'm going to click into CC here. And now we're going to go through an effort of qualification. So every business is a little bit different, but very often there's going to be some level of, well, how much does CC fit our organization? How much does our organization fit CC, an organization which is SJ Corporation? And when I reach out to CC, when our sales team reaches out, we might want to look at some of the campaign engagement. So we want to reference, what she clicked on, what she opened, and that integration here with Marketing Cloud allows us to do that. So some really important information here that comes in from Marketing Cloud that we want to have when we make these reach outs to CC. So some quick information here, 5 website visits, emails open and clicked, and obviously lead source being email marketing. So what we're going to do now is, again, when I talked about the qualification, there's some combination likely of, does CC and our company have budget? Is there a time frame identified where they want to work with us? And some understanding of what that actual sales opportunity will be. So we've had interactions with CC, we've had some calls, some emails, and we're going to go ahead and say that, okay, I think that CC can be an actual customer of ours. So we're going to go ahead and convert CC to a qualified in lead. And when you convert a lead in Salesforce, that lead then becomes a contact account and an opportunity. And so where we get to from there is that now we have the opportunity. And so what we've discussed so far, what we've discussed so far is a Salesforce implementation. And before I dig deeper into this opportunity, while I'm here, just wanted to have a look at some of the other opportunities in the business. So this forecast tab can be a great way to understand what's happening with our open pipeline. Obviously, it's incredibly important to understand what the business is hoping to win from a perspective of opportunities, and this is a great way to do so. So right off the bat here, we can tell that, so we have 1.2 million closed, 1.3 million in the commit. We have best case and open pipeline. So it gives you a subsection of your pipeline for August and obviously any other month. And if I have a team, then I'm going to be able to see the individuals within my team. And a great thing about this feature is that you can actually do manager adjustments. So if I have a group of salespeople who some may have happier years than others, maybe over qualification, then I can adjust. Here. And so now diving back into this opportunity with SJ Corporation. Now we're in the sales opportunity. This person we've decided is a good chance of becoming a customer of ours. And so some key information we'll see at the opportunity level, the opportunity name, the account, so that's with SJ Corporation, as we saw before. We're anticipating to close this month. And some key pieces of information here are the contacts within this opportunity. So, as we move through the qualification process, we've learned that we have Stuart John, who is the Chief Revenue Officer. We've identified Stuart as the primary contact on the sales opportunity, and CC Andrews. So that's obviously that lead that we qualified. So we have her as the decision maker. So this is a great feature that allows us to understand, who are the key individuals within a sales opportunity, and allow us to have that much better chance at winning the opportunity. So I want to move into the proposal piece, but each company is going to be very different, but we have 8 sales stages here that we would go through as other salespeople work with businesses. So as I move through the stages, it's going to ask me to add certain products. So as I said, since we implement and provide consulting on Salesforce systems, they tend to include a Salesforce product. So we would look to add these here. And because of the complexity of the system, we're going to need to have value in having Enterprise Edition for Salesforce. So fairly standard pieces here. So then as we move through the sales process, we're going to want to create a proposal. And so for us, stage 5 is at the point that means that the proposal has been sent. So now we're into the proposal object. So again, fully customized object. This does not come out of the box with Salesforce. Again, so it's a object. These are also called tabs, but this is a complete custom piece of functionality that Absolve builds for our customers, and obviously it's built for ourselves. So some very high level information here, but as I scroll down, this is the actual proposal creation tool that takes place in Salesforce. So huge value here that we've had ourselves, that we've seen with our customers, that don't need to now jump into Microsoft Word or working with templates in Google Drive. It's all right here. So, straightforward, high level information here, but what we're going to do on the project, the hourly rate, the payment structure, an upper and a lower estimate of the amount of hours, and we have an upper and a lower estimate of the amount of budget and level of effort. And so just clicking over here, so this is really the meat of the creation. So proposal work tasks, this is going to be, I'm going to be able to choose from a pre-built list of items that are going to get done on a project. So certainly every customer, every business will have some, differential here, but at the end of the day, what we do for our customers is to set up the types of proposal items that would typically show up on one of your projects, and then we'd allow for the ability to have any kind of customization required. So one of our projects, we're going to be starting with the requirements. We're going to have builds on this proposal. We're going to be setting up the Sales Cloud platform, the Service Cloud platform, which is meant for the customer service aspects. We have a field service component. We're going to set up project management system as well as marketing cloud. we're going to make sure that we're able to test the system before we hand it over to the business, test it as we go. We're going to make sure that we can handle change management on this project so we can provide training. We will deploy the platform, then provide post-go live support. And we're going to identify how we work with change orders, what our assumptions we're making on the project, what is out of scope, and then we're going to provide a breakdown of our resources. So as you can see, this is very much focused on a business like us and a business like us, given that you're selling services, selling hours at the end of the day, and putting together a fairly complex proposal, which is going to outline a number of deliverables and timeframes. We also really like about this proposal, we've got the proposal template, so we've got the ability to add proposal phases, so what's going to happen at each step of the project, payments. But we are also able to add a case study that is really relevant to this project. So, we did a project with X customer, 6 months ago. We have this great customer story up on the website, and now we also have it in our proposal building tool. So, this project I'm trying to win, it's just like this project we did 6 months ago. And so if I have this on our proposal now, we're able to let the customer know through the proposal that, we've done this before. This is the kind of work that we do. So a huge value here in having this ability to, add a customized case study based on the project you're trying to win. And then testimonials. So, quick couple of sentences from a great customer of ours. And again, whether, it's an industry similar to the one we're trying to win the new project in, type of project that's very similar. We want to demonstrate that this is work that we've done and that we're very familiar and successful with it. So I've gone through my proposal building, and then I'm going to press this button here, which is to create a PDF. And the output of that is this great looking PDF that we can now send out to the customer. So all the key information that we added on the proposal, this is taking that information in Salesforce, creating it onto this template that gets sent out. This can be exported from Salesforce to send manually in an email. Certainly that does take place, but can also be sent right from Salesforce. So all these dynamic windows we built all show up on the proposal. And obviously all this can be fully customizable. Again, this is our template, and it's been successful for us for a good amount of time. So as you can see, all the items are here. So any other boilerplate items that your business has, we'd make sure and add that to the proposal. And everyone is going to be different there. Maybe talking about, for us, a project management methodology, the time frame, as we looked at the financial piece, a little bit more marketing information about us, and then that featured case study that we talked about, the testimonial as well. And obviously signature page, very important for anyone looking to win a proposal, and some fine print. So this goes out to the customer, and through electronic signature, we win this proposal. And so, and this is where the operational piece and this huge amount of value kicks in for Propose2Project. And so what happens when we win a proposal, win a sales opportunity? Well, what we do for a living, or our operational aspect of the business, is to run projects. So before we're about to kick off the project, we want to send an invoice. And so this is now into our accounting portion of the system. And as you can see, it's right there within everything else. And that's the huge value of having this built right in the Salesforce programming language. So I have a list of accounts receivable items. And what we have here is this initial invoice from this SJ Corporation Salesforce implementation project we just won. So as an individual within the business who's responsible for either approving the invoice or reviewing it and sending it out, that's where this functionality would kick in. So again, this invoice was automatically created, added to the list of accounts receivable. Obviously, this is all very customizable. Oftentimes it would be set up in maybe a different queue that needs review. But as you can see here, this is set up in a waiting for approval section. Typically, even though this record is automatically created, someone in the business is going to want to approve it before it gets fully sent out. Obviously, there's the opportunity for this to be automatically sent out too, but obviously these are business specifics that can adjust with any company. So I can see standard information. We are sending this out as a deposit to start the project. And you can see here that we have, these are billing lines, so subsections of the billing or invoice. We have tax added. Some other, I'll see some summary information here as well. And so, oh, it looks good. I'm going to go ahead and send the invoice. Now we're going to create this PDF. So similar function. It's really the document merge, this ability to create, customer-facing material right from a dynamic build object within Salesforce. So just waiting for the preview. And so here it is. So we have an invoice ready to go. So this is all obviously very again, customizable. Again, more of that document merge, but the information shows up on the invoice, wire transfer information. Obviously what is owed, anything you have on your invoice record is ready to go. So from here, I can then send it to the appropriate contact, write a couple of sentences about the project, etc., and then I can go ahead and hit send. And so that goes out. So as we're waiting for that invoice payment, which is in our accounts receivable now, we have a project automatically created. So we have this project set up in status of plan analyze, and now we're starting to align resources for the project. We're starting to go through knowledge transfers internally, determining bandwidth, very high level information here. The project has been checked as active. So at the point now that we are kicking off the project, we've got end dates, start dates. We have a full ticketing system here for us internally to manage the project, the amount of hours we have for the project, any kind of deposit or retainer invoice information if there is for your business a timing impact of payment versus project start. And certainly a key piece here is the team. So we start to allocate resources. So we have Alma and Rada here ready to engage on the project, and other records within the system that this project ties into. So now we're running the project, and we have individuals within the company who are now filling in time cards, filling in timesheets, so they're billing time on the project. The dollars that came from the little effort, the cost of the project, it came through from the opportunity, and so we're now looking at, we understand what the actual revenue is or will be once the project is over. And as individuals are filling in time cards, we now have the ability to understand what the project cost is, what the margins, what the profitability is on the project. So could be some fluctuations in the financials but that moves with the project as invoices are sent. If you're a company that sends, say, project invoices monthly or perhaps on a milestone basis, as invoices come in, the actual revenue increases. As people fill in time cards, the labor cost obviously goes up. And so you're able to get full picture of project accounting and project profitability. As I said, very quick view of how well the project is going from a margin perspective. And it's within these two objects on the project side that our team and your team would be actually managing the project as well. So really a full sort of ticketing system, project management system within the system. And so we're running the project. This active project has now been added to our portfolio of active projects. So I can get a great view of all the active projects we have within our business. Standard high level information, start dates, end dates. We also, ability to see the high level information. Are we on budget? Are we on track? Is the customer satisfied with the project so far? So this a great overview of where we are with all of our active projects. And as we move through, we've got the new project with SJ Corporation that we're running. We have the all the invoicing taking place throughout the project. We have time cards being filled in. We get a full understanding of the margin on the project. And as we move through, we have individuals in the business who have to take care of our payables. So the amount of money that we owe. So whether it's vendors of our software we are purchasing, any cost of the business can be listed here in accounts payable. So we're handling cash in, we're handling cash out, and then we can also use the accounting home feature to actually get even deeper with our financials. So as I said, this is where you'd actually get to the point that you're seeing net profit. So we've got gross margin that we talked about, by looking at how profitable each individual job is. And now we can actually go right into the system here, look at financial reports, look at the P&L, look at the balance sheet, and actually clearly understand what is our net profit as a business. So incredible insight here for a service firm to be able to constantly see how profitable are these jobs. What are the jobs? What are the projects that we should be doing? What are the ones that we should not be doing? And then here from accounting home is where you can make changes around setup, getting right into your bookkeeping, your accounting team, being able to look at right down to that transaction level, bank reconciliation, connecting with your banks to make sure that those transactions are coming through, and we're handling that monthly bookkeeping, but also our year end. So full general ledger, full customization from here, and again, all within Salesforce. So we're continuing to move along. We're running the business, we're running financials, and as we move into, we talked about we're paying our vendors. So now we can also even look at our payroll. So we have all the individuals in the business. We have a quick view here of total pay, their hourly rate, the amount of hours that they've logged. So we have all this tracking inside the system as well. And certainly, whether you're a business who would look at full-time staff as a part of how you look at your costing with respect to a job can certainly vary based on your business. But any of this information can be tracked against a project, maybe against more fixed assets, fixed expenses. So once it's in the system, it can really be set up and reported on in any given way. And so for the HR and benefits component, I can click on Lionel Cool and just have a quick view of where he is as a member of our team. So architect, project lead, working with Absolve. He reports to Craig. His labor cost rate is there. Previous performance review, current salary, and then current benefits plan, and in contact information certainly. And here we can use Chatter to actually see the way that his salary has changed over the years. So we saw that it went from 90 to 95 back in July, and other ways that the salary has changed. So you see full employee progression, and really provide that full employee experience. And through Humi is where they would be able to administer, look at the benefits plan, performance reviews, but it's all integrated right here in the one platform. So as I promised a few times, now get into the real-time insights into the business. So we looked at a few of these, but as this would indicate, company dashboard, as myself as president and CEO of the company, I do want to see the output of all the departments that are important to us as a business and as a professional service business. We really want to see, we have some marketing here with leads. We have sales, certainly with adding pipeline quoted. We have the upcoming pipeline. We have an understanding of what we've closed this month, this quarter, and then where we are year to date on sales for our goal. And I think it's really important for a business to understand, where the revenue is coming from. Are we doing a great job selling ongoing or secondary or third or fourth projects with our customers? So are we mainly doing a lot of repeat business? Are we really doing great with new logo business? Certainly, we have goals around these items, and it's very important to track and understand where you are, where you want to be. So subscription support billing, so that would be where we're looking at a support type of engagement. So certainly as an implementation consulting company, very project-based, but we do also offer ongoing support to the software that we've built. And now really getting into that huge value of having operations and financials in the system. So through time cards, we can actually create utilization goals. And so utilization would be, very common and huge value for a professional services business. So we're showing we're at 155%. So if 100% was the entire company being able to bill at 40 hours a week, so we're actually, the entire team is doing incredibly well from a utilization standpoint. A huge amount of their time is being billed out to our customers. So we're being incredibly efficient as a professional service business, but also means that the team's probably working pretty hard. We might want to maybe do a company event or dial it back in the coming quarter. So Project Q, that's the projects that we've sold and not quite started yet. And active projects, so we showed that view of all the active projects that are taking place and currently being worked on. So here's a incredibly key metric, and again, all this tie-in of financials and operations, so understanding the amount of billable time last week, the amount of hours logged that were billed on projects, and then we have the amount that was, sorry, this is the amount by staff, so staff employees, and then this is the amount by subcontractors. So often is the goal to have the majority of work completed by full-time staff, as opposed to outside staff. And so it's a huge metric there, and something that certainly we always look at, and a key metric for service businesses and professional service businesses. A few more pieces of information. So the backlog. So we have an understanding of how many hours there are in the system. If we never sold anything ever again, this is the amount of hours we have to deliver projects that we've sold and are working or ready to start. And I want to get a sense for some financials here. So here's how much we billed out last week. So always making sure that we're continuing to move through projects, continuing to start new projects, and that we're continuing to build. And then gross margin. So that huge key component for any business to understand that profitability at the job level. So really gross margin, meaning this is a sort of a collection of metrics based on all completed projects and that job profitability. So obviously from here, you can drill into each project, see how each individual project was, but speaking from experience from 7 years from our side, implementing the system for many of our customers, just huge value in having this job costing aspect right in the system. And as we showed, looking at accounting home, being able to look at, and then now net profit all the way through. So that concludes the demo. We are a minute over, and thank you very much, everyone, for attending. I'll hand it back over to you then, Natalia.
Yes, we can go back to the slides. Now it's time for the Q&A session. So if anyone wants to submit questions, you can do so. Feel free to unmute yourself, or if you prefer, you can use the chat. So any questions? You can ask anything. So in this case, if there are no questions,
and how long is a typical implementation of this? How long would that normally take?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would say in the range of 5 to 7 months. Could be longer, it could be shorter, not often on the shorter side, but certainly in that kind of range.
Okay, great, thank you.
I have a question in regards to Marketing Cloud. Can we replace that with Pardot? Yes,
absolutely. So we typically work with businesses to help them understand which platform could be a better choice. reviewed some of the complexity of Marketing Cloud today. It essentially has so much complexity with that multi-channel engagement that it really is about 6 Pardots itself. So you can take 6 of those, the amount of complexity or multi-channel engagement Pardot has, you could fit 6 of those inside Marketing Cloud. So Marketing Cloud could be a much larger platform. The reason we talk about it being a B2C focus is because it has that social engagement. You can do social listening. It's got the SMS engagement piece. Pardot doesn't have those. So yes, they can be interchangeable. Pardot does have a great integration with the website. Allows you to track what individuals are doing for your brand quite easily. It just that Marketing Cloud has that huge multi-channel engagement and can be much larger.
Okay,
All
thank you.
right. So we have another question here that we got from the chat. The question is, are there any other integrations that would make sense with this solution?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it really depends. What we use ourselves is a LinkedIn integration, for example. So where you can bring up a lead or a contact, essentially any person, and then have it right in your Salesforce window, a view into LinkedIn from there. So, bring up the contact, and right next to it, you've got the person's LinkedIn photo, their current role. So it can be really great for making sure that you're keeping your database clean. Is a really nice feature. The amount of integrations really is endless, and we've done certainly hundreds of different kinds. Other one we use is the Salesforce high velocity sales. So that allows for really multi-tab engagement with respect to a list of individuals you're reaching out to, whether they're leads or contacts you're looking to sell to. Provides that heightened amount of engagement, really from the phone to the screen. So that's great. Another one that we use, really as you go down the system, whether it's integrations to help with inside sales, that could be on the sales component, whether it's helping out with so projects. I mean, we tend to build the project module either custom or using accounting seeds, but we've also integrated other project management systems. So if a customer really prefers a project management system, we can integrate it in, whether Milestones PM or Smart Sheets, whether it's even task management or full project management. Certainly could be value there. It's somewhat endless. For those familiar, we can send information about the App Exchange. That's the Salesforce marketplace for applications, where you can really quickly and easily upload them into your Salesforce system. It's kind of like the iTunes for Salesforce business applications. And that's where you can really explore just the endless possibilities as far as integrations. Some great ones out there with respect to kind of the top of the funnel piece, where maybe it's a business card scanner, or just any way to really efficiently organize contacts. So yeah, certainly a ton out there, and we've done a lot of them, and we certainly work with customers to determine what could make sense to involve there.
Right, great. Thank you, David. So any more questions? So if there are no more questions, we can move on to the next slide. So if you want to connect with us, you can do it via website, email, or phone. Additionally, you can also follow us on social media for the latest updates, see our articles, or have any conversation with us. So thank you for your attention and for being here today. As a reminder, this webinar recording will be sent to you very shortly. Stay tuned for more future events at appsolve.com and our social media. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.